Yo, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Exotic Agent Podcast. I am here with my boy Nick in the house. We are on fire. It's hot and muggy in this garage. We tried to start early, but yeah, we made it. Here we are.
We made it, baby. Summer AZ.
Yes, sir.
I think we're over the monsoon season here shortly, though. So hopefully, if come October here, you won't be sweating as much and you can do it midday.
That's right, dude. I can see you glistening.
I'm glistening. You're glistening too, baby. We got the fine lighting in here.
That's right. So a lot of you guys may not know Nick, and a lot of guys may not know me. We took a little break, but we are back with this podcast. Nick and I met at the gym at Mountainside Fitness here in Arizona. So I've had two people on this podcast before. One was a mortgage lender, super cool guy. TikTok went viral. And another guy was my best friend. So the third one here is Nick. Nick's motivational speaker, high energy. And we met at the gym. Dude comes in. I'm like, what's up, Nick? He's like, what's up, Zach? Pump. Peace.
No, Zach and I met at the gym, and it was a good connection from the get. I think, just a good dude, always around the gym, man. So I think anytime you see people that you could relate to and just sparking a conversation is cool. A year later, we're here finding out what you do, kind of finding out a little bit more about the way you run your businesses and stuff. So yeah, man, I'm glad that we finally got a chance to connect.
That's right. And when you meet people at the gym, they're doing something right because they got the motivation to get up, get coffee, get motivated. That's mine. G3, baby.
Yeah, baby. No,
I'll take it.
I think at the gym, we met at the gym, like you said, and it's cool. Just, I think the power of the connections you can meet at the gym, like you said, the gym's a powerful place. I mean, you think about it, you go in there, kind of who's vibing, whose energy's good. Okay. They're working hard, etc. Sometimes, I'm even gassing people up at the gym. I'm like, hey, that person's getting after it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
And so I think kind of that's, the way that we vibed at first. And so I'm glad that we got a chance to get in here, and hopefully we can provide some value to your audience here, man. Yeah,
you're going to provide the value. So I've only seen you at the gym. I don't really know much more than that. We started talking a little bit out there, man. We were chatting off camera, and then we're like, yo, we got to put this on camera.
Yeah,
Let's go.
We got to get it on. So,
but I do know that you're high energy, motivational speaker. You see the world differently than a lot of other people do. You see it as a positive world, how to make money, how to get energy. So tell me, bro, what's happening in your life?
No, man. No, I think, I do have a high energy. I think that it's just who I am. The people around me kind of make that happen. I think I'm a big believer in your environment makes or breaks you. Right?
Your circles.
So, yep. Your circle proximity. Right. But yeah, just the people really make my life what it is. I think without the people around me, and we can get into, just emotional bank account or relational bank account, but I think that the people around really make me be ultimately who I am. And so, yeah, I have high energy, sometimes too high of energy, I think.
There's no such thing. Such thing as too high energy.
No,
there's a lot of people who are successful, and they're very monotone, bro.
I know.
It's hard for me to relate. I know that they got some things going, but they might be that keyboard warrior that's like killing it in sales on the keyboard. And you meet them, they're like,
yo, what?
Hey Zach.
He's quiet.
Like,
no,
how you selling things, man? How do you sell things if you don't feel passionate?
That's a good point. So How if we aren't, if we're not an energetic person, or if we are low energy overall, how can we gain confidence or gain, I guess, enough courage to have high energy to approach someone or have a conversation? Like we were talking about, we met at the gym, but I think it's very comfortable and normal for me and you to approach individuals that we don't know, have a conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's comfortable for everyone.
It's true.
So like, what did we...
You're the only one that I've ever talked to at the gym, by the way.
Seriously?
Yeah, and I take blame.
Bro,
when I walk in,
if I had $1 for every person that might say the same thing, just say you're the only person that's actually talked to me at the gym. My ass is going around.
I know you're like smiling. He walks in with a huge smile on his face. I'm like, man, this guy's energy is legit. But a buddy of mine who was on the podcast before, we talked about awkward places of where the conversations don't exist. We didn't say gym, but we said like elevator, for example. Good. Nobody talks in an elevator.
I like that.
But in the gym, it's kind of the same way. I think a lot of people kind of come stuck up in the gym. But it's not intentional. I think it's like motivation. I'm here to work out. I'm not here to flirt. I'm not here to have conversations, because then you don't get anything done. That's the problem. Yeah. But when you come in with a smile, I'm like, bro, why is this guy smiling all the time? Why is he smiling when he does these curls for the girls? Dude, I don't understand.
My butt's probably dancing.
So I'm like, what's up with this guy? I got to say hi.
Yeah, doing curls, dancing, and probably working half as hard as I should be. But no, it's I love it in there. Again, you know, the gym is almost like my outlet. It's like my place where I can go and I can actually just be free.
Yeah.
Right? It's me and my
music. Get rid of that energy.
Yeah, that's it. Get rid of the energy. Yeah. Like, where's the outlet, right?
Little dump.
I think just as much for me physically, just as beneficial it is for me physically, I think it is just for me mentally as well. Because without the gym, it's like, okay, like,
what are you gonna do?
Am I doing everything I can? You know, and I think it's a really hard balance, but no, going back to what you said, is the gym is my happy place, I think. And it's definitely a way for me to get energy out, but also the people are what make the gym special.
That's true.
Like, you know, you go in the gym, I've been going to Mountainside Fitness, shout out Mountainside, for a while. And, you know, 10 years, I've been to gyms all over, but seeing those same people, or seeing people that are in there getting after it, you get in there and I'm like, dang, Zach's kind of getting after it. I kind of want to get after it.
You know what's crazy is, as you were talking, it made me really think, is that even though people don't talk in the gym, they all each have their personality. The dude comes in.
You can see it all,
dude,
you know.
It's crazy because this dude comes in and I'm like, dude, he's going straight to the bench. I know this is a bench guy. He's going straight to the bench. But that's a personality trait. So what's going through this guy's head, that it's like the bench is his relief, and that's his personality that I know. And then another dude comes in, dude, this guy's about to get on this machine and do it completely wrong. That's the wrong guy.
Rip that elliptical.
yeah, he's the wrong guy. But it's all personality, because I believe that relates back to something that they're doing in their life to trigger them to work out wrong, you know, or, you know, do curls. Maybe they want the girls.
The curls with the girls.
Yeah.
No, it is. I think everyone has a personality, and it's very interesting too. You can see, you know, even the type of music they're listening to. And I think it's special, man. The gym is a hard place to speak to people, especially because of the headphones. I think that's a huge barrier, but there's ways to get around it. You know what I'm saying? You can always point at a headphone. If you want to talk to someone, you can point down at the ground. That's a huge one. I always point at shoes. Back in the dating world, you know, you point at the shoe, they take their headphone out, you can talk to them. But it is a very, I think, intricate environment for relationships inside of the gym. And it's a big comfortability thing. You know, a lot of people, when they first go to the gym, they're not comfortable at all.
Yep.
You know, I think people like me and you, we might have been going to the gym for, 10 years now. But individuals, I guess, if you wanted to talk to someone at the gym, or you wanted to talk to someone in an environment that you weren't familiar with, is there anything that you think of that helps you make that more comfortable?
I don't want to talk to him?
If we do, I feel like we're very
if I do, but I'm too scared to talk to him, or the environment's not right?
Yeah, the environment's not right.
Man, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you a little story. Me and some buddies did a physical, or not a physical. We did an experiment.
Yeah.
It was during my dating days.
Okay.
And the experiment was, we are going to the bar specifically to have a conversation. Yeah. Most of the time it was women, but it was dudes as well. And we would walk in. We went to the Montauk. It's this bar. It has a circle bar around it. And when you sit down, what's great about the Montauk is you're looking at the bar, but on the other side of the bar, since it's a circle, are people. So you're facing people. You can't ignore people, because everybody goes to the damn bar to sit and drink and not conversate. I don't understand. There's a lot of interesting people in Scottsdale, but this bar specifically was my favorite because I'm eye contacting who. So I didn't want to be a creep. And so me and some buddies did a social experiment. This is what we're doing. We walk into the bar. By the way, for all the single guys out there, I'm no expert at picking up chicks, but I will tell you, your first impressions when you walk into the bar are like the first 1 minute or less. The most confident man is going to walk into the bar and is going to go straight up to a woman. Straight up. She's going to know that he just walked in and went straight up to him. Why? Because he's not there to scope out the bar, scope out what's going on. No, he had his eye on the prize, and that's what women freaking want. And they do notice that. Have you heard? You walk into I challenge everybody, walk into a bar or an organization, go straight to a woman. Make sure she's not with another man, you get your ass kicked. But if she is with other women, go straight up to her. This is how I got my wife. I got my wife this way. See? And here is the one and only pickup line.
Presence.
I got this from a movie. I can't remember the name of it right now. I had Ashton Kutcher, and it's actually one I probably shouldn't promote. But he says one pickup line, the rest is cheese. And you go up to him and you say, "What's your name?" It's not like, hey, you know, some cheesy pickup line. You say, "What's your name?" You stick out your hand. You be a gentleman, and you just say, "What's your name?" They have to respond. They have a name. They have to respond. Amazing. Okay, now they tell you your name. Here's where the shit test comes in. They're like, "Why is this guy coming to me?" The shit test is they're going to turn their back to you, and they're going to go talk to their girl. If you walk away, you are not a man because you can't handle the shit test. My wife did it to me. They talk and they turn to their women. They're like, this guy's weird. But in reality, these women love this. But every woman's going to send you through the shit test. And so when the shit test...
They should send you
through the shit test. They should too. And when the shit test happens, they turn their back on you. If you are still there standing and you know how to pivot, and I would give you advice to then introduce yourself to the girl next to him. "Hi, I'm Zach." And then start talking to her. Then the other girl has to turn back around and then talk to her. "Just wanted to see how you guys are doing today. How are you?" Nonchalant, open conversation. Don't be a damn creep. I guarantee you, if you take this advice, you're going to find a wife if you're in the market. You're going to find a girlfriend if you're in the market, and you're going to get laid if you're in the market. No matter what you want, you can get it. And there's a lot of guys out there. But you're saying how to do the awkward conversation.
I like what you're saying. I want to say something. Okay. I think the two things that I really what I grasped from that, it's huge, is you said confidence, and you said presence.
Yeah.
When you walk in a place, the first thing, your presence.
You have less than a minute.
So the presence is huge. No matter if you're, picking up girls, I think if you're in a business meeting, if you're walking inside of a classroom, your presence is everything. The way that you carry yourself into that environment is going to set the tone for how everyone approaches you or how they receive your approach.
Yes.
And that's everything. So I think, especially with women, as you're saying, is presence and confidence is huge. But I think it's really with anything in life. Mm-hmm. And it would be like a very attractive woman walking in a restaurant or any type of facility. It's presence. Whoa, okay. Well, for men, it might not be that stunning look, right? But how can we still establish our own presence? What is our presence? And I think that takes sometimes long to kind of figure out, but each individual has their own unique presence about them. Now, how we want to portray that presence is ultimately up to us. Maybe that presence is different in every environment. Maybe people that are very, very aware of their environments and of their own emotions and of their own presence can dictate different presence is in different environments.
And you got to figure it out too. I didn't know this until I watched a movie. I watched a movie, and I also started watching YouTube videos on how to pick up women. I know it sounds cheesy, and everybody laughs at me. Everybody laughs at me.
Hey, if you're a dude and you haven't watched some type of video or at least got guidance,
I will recommend you anything.
Dating. You got girls too. You go and you get help.
Listen, everybody out there, I have the most beautiful Russian wife, as you guys probably seen on my YouTube. The most beautiful wife. I love her. We get along. I'm very culturally diverse now. I had no idea I was going to be dating Putin's daughter. Not really. But in all honesty, like, any European is a very tough woman. Very tough. For all you guys out there who have ever experienced European women, they're very tough. And it's a good way, because this woman has shaped me truly into the man that I am. Because you talk about presence a lot, and I didn't always have this presence, and sometimes I feel myself slumping. We all are ups and downs. I don't care what any YouTuber or anybody out there, when you see them on camera, they're the best of the best. They're at the highest peak, right? But they do have ups and they have downs. Dan Bilzerian, for example, I don't even want to say his name because I don't really believe in this guy, but for example, like, when you see him, like, he's but that guy is miserable at times, I guarantee you, but not when he's on camera. So just notice your ups and your downs. And the thing about my wife that's wonderful is when I'm down, she says, "Zach, this is what you're doing wrong." She points me out immediately. For example, I'll give you my example. Sometimes my shoulders go forward. And when I walk like this. Why do I walk like this? Because my head is consciously saying that something happened at some point, and it's hurting me, whether it's in my past, whether it's currently in my present. But in that mind, my mind has gone to my shoulders, and my shoulders are slumped. And it takes a wife or a girlfriend or someone to say, yo, Zach, shoulders up. I'm like this. And instantly I feel like a man. That's a European woman. That could be your wife. It could be American. It doesn't have to be European, but it's an accountability partner.
I love that accountability partner. What I mean, you just touched on such a good point. Is there anything else? And you just said, your wife ultimately picks you up when you're down. Your wife. What else does she do, or how else does she support you that really ultimately helps us? And I can kind of talk on this too. I guess where in our partnerships, how do they help us, and why is it so important to have them in our lives? I like this little example is such a good example. And it's like,
walk tall. She says, walk tall, walk like a man. And she says it in a great way, but I get so pissed off. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, I already am a man, typical dude. But she's like, no, let me take a picture of you. And she's taking a picture of me. So I'm like, whoa, I don't want to look like that. And it's many things. Another thing is like, my walk used to, like, my feet used to come in. She goes, straighten up. She'll just say that really quick and I straighten up. But these women are, and it's an approach. Okay, so I'm a Capricorn. Capricorns are type A, go-getters. Personality is just insane. So the way that I respond is you better tell me and be very blunt at what you want, because I'm not going to be guessing at what you're trying to tell me. She knows this. She's a Cancer. Cancers are very soft and sweet, but she's type A as well. And so she knows how to tell me this, and love languages, or, whatever you want to get into. She says, straighten up. I know exactly what that means. Soldier. When I get up in the morning, it's funny. If I'm not up, by 7 o'clock, she goes, Zach, you're a soldier. Get up. If she's up before me, she counts me. She checks me, man. And dude, it's annoying.
It's annoying.
It's annoying.
But gosh darn,
I'm talking
how
about
important
it
are those checks, though?
Dude, it's so much. And also, we were talking about, these women.
Checks.
They're here to help us. And this may sound like, dude, Zach, you're a bitch. No, I'm really not a bitch. It's that when I'm down, she's kicking me in my ass, and I need that. But guess what? That battery rejuvenates for the next month.
That's exactly what I think. You nailed it. I think, your partner ultimately, are they picking you up when you're down? And then when you're up, are they checking you and kind of making sure that you're still level? Yeah. Like, that's ultimately you want, right? I'm a huge believer in a relational bank account, and the people in your life have to be putting deposits into your account
100%,
right? All the time. And especially your wife, your partner, your close friends. You could talk about the proximity. And like you just said, she checks me. That's not a bad thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of guys and a lot of us as men will be like, oh man, like, why is she chirping me? It's like, she ain't chirping you. Yeah. She's actually helping you be the best person because she knows you're that much better than what you're performing at right now.
It's awesome. It's so crazy. Freaking cool. And we touched the base a lot out before this podcast, but I am I'm old school generation. I feel like it's old school. I feel like there's a lot of women that are not made for the workplace. We talked a lot about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's popping off. Power to this guy is freaking genius marketer. He's got plan A, B, C, D. I can't wait to see what he does. But he talks about the same thing. Women have a difficult time in the workforce, and I don't mean to be, masculine or feminist control, but I've seen it from my personal experience. I'll just say that women are here to support a man. That's what I truly believe. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of women who want all the power in the world, and that's great. But I truly believe, like old school back in the 60s, 70s, men are made to be soldiers. They wake up, they go to work, they provide for their family. Women are here to nurture kids. And, if you believe that they cook, if they want to cook, if they clean, da-da-da. My wife hates it when I say, cook and clean. She doesn't want to do that. But men should be here to solve that problem as well. If they don't want to cook and clean, men, get out there and make more money. Take care of your wife, take care of your family. And I believe that that's what men are made to do because we are strong soldiers. Yeah, no. And we talked a little bit about it, but I think the masculine, feminine, energies and balances are so important. And every relationship's different. And I think the establishment of what the relationship's going to look like is what's so important, especially nowadays. It's like, hey, you set the boundary. Hey,
this is my relation. This is my position in our family. This is your position in your family. These are the roles that we're going to play. I think the issue is when things get messy. When you have a very masculine woman that wants to play a role that the men's not okay with.
I've seen it.
Happens all the time.
I've seen it. And a lot of men.
Vice versa.
Yeah, and a lot of men can't have that conversation.
No, heck no.
You have to have that conversation.
What I'm finding is a lot of the time right now, and just checking myself ego-wise, is sometimes I got to take a step back too and say, would a man really respond the way that I just did? Is that a true man, or am I like trying to be half a man? And a lot of the time,
or would a woman respond the way that you just talked to her? You told me that before too.
Girls have told me, hey, check the way you talk, your tone, right? Because what have I always known is competition, sports, locker room talk, chirping people, right? All I know is tone. You need to get something done. We can get something done. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
But when you need to communicate with a woman how to get something done,
you gotta change.
The tone has to be completely.
Yeah, you gotta be soft.
So I've had to learn a lot in that sense, but it's been such good. So going back, it's like, hey, like if you think you responded as a man, is that truly what a man would respond to?
Right.
And like that's the hardest ego check there ever is.
Especially if you responded emotionally. That's not your job. Your job's not to respond emotionally.
Emotional. No, yeah. You the women, and that's where like as men, like, okay, are we letting our emotions out of control to where the women's emotions are? And if they are, if we're letting our emotions go just as much, women are supposed to have emotions.
It's fire on fire.
They're supposed to, right? And we can't think the same as women, because we're not wired the same. And it's taken me a long time to truly understand that. Read many books, done a lot of studies and a lot of research just to understand, okay, are we actually different? Now I'm a believer. Yes, we are. And so just taking steps back and trying to really think about, like you said, emotion, logic, where we at, and then just make a rash decision moving forward on whatever it may be. I think it's just so important. I'm going to get off my tangent now on that.
No, it's great. No. I love it. I could talk about this all day. There's a lot of guys in the real estate. So I got into real estate and there was a lot.
This is huge in the real estate space, huh?
Oh, it's huge because there's a lot of dudes. There's one guy that I'm not going to say his name on here, but before I got into real estate, I met my wife, I go travel, and then I'm doing some videos because that's what I was doing before for this guy. Dude, he had a boat, he had an RZR, he had an Escalade, he bought a Lamborghini Huracan, and he had a business car and a nice house, and he's building a $100,000 pool and all this stuff. And I'm like, damn. And it's not about the money. He had 3 or 4 kids. His wife didn't work. That out of all of this stuff, all of these materialistic things, the one thing that I noticed the most is that homeboy can afford all of these things and his wife doesn't work. But the most important is that his wife doesn't work. There's a lot of people out there who are like, yo, you're getting married. Yo, you're going to have kids, bro. Your life's going to change. You're not going to be able to afford this anymore. You're not going to be able to buy this anymore. You're not going to be able to bullshit. Why? Work harder, make more money. And those are the people that I see that it's like, it blows my mind.
And if your wife's pregnant, or your wife is going through something where she probably needs you and nothing clicks that you want to work harder to go make that happen.
I'm going through that right now. I haven't made it public yet, but I'm going through exactly what you said. So wifey's got a little bit bigger belly.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, let's get it. Congratulations.
Next month.
No, we're just saying it right on the podcast.
I know, we just said
it. Dude, congrats.
I know.
That's what it is.
This is why I'm so passionate about this specific topic.
Yeah.
Dude, shit's about to hit the fan big time.
And so, okay, so.
But my life's not going to change. I'm just going to have 2 girls instead of 1.
Now what mindset have you tried to put yourself in? Like, have you taken a step back and said, okay, this is me now, Zach, August 2022. What is my life going to look like in February 2023?
Yeah. She's doing a home birth. So nice. We've been all natural.
Dude, I know. I've heard. Trust me. I've heard. I've seen. Okay.
I have not seen yet. Breath, bro, I will see. So I'll have to tell you guys all about that after it happens. But what's my life going to look like? And we've been going through a lot of like, not counseling, but like there's a midwife and there's a doula.
You're going through it all.
Dude, I'm going through it all. Zach, what are you scared of? Is the question. It goes around the room. There's like 6 of us in there. I said nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's not because I'm not giving birth. I would love to give birth in her place. She's scared, obviously. You know, she wants it so bad, but she's scared of the process.
Right there, that's a man. I'll just say
I'm
real
scared
quick.
of nothing.
You said you didn't even think. You said I would do it for her.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Say because she's scared. I ain't.
I'm not scared. Yeah,
it's cool.
I can't imagine the pain. We don't have those organs. She's gone through one contraction already, and I could see it in her face, and it was like. We went through training. I'll tell you a little bit that we went through this training of where this is getting into the man thing again, where we were blindfolded outside of this office. There's 6 dudes. We were blindfolded, and the wives or the girlfriends had to hold our hands, and they had to say, okay, here's a step. We're going over a curve. They had to take us through obstacles. Duck, there's a branch, and we ducked. And then we were grabbed by another person, which was the doula, brought us back inside, and she said, hold out your hands. We held out our hands. She put a bag of ice in each hand. I mean, my hands it was on fire. And then all of a sudden, she started screaming and pounding on the floor. I can't do this. This hurts so much. Oh, this contraction. Oh, I want an epidural. Oh, I want to go to the hospital. Oh, I want to do this. Us men are blindfolded holding this bag of ice because this is the pain that we feel, and we hear this and we can't help. And like, I didn't start crying because I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, baby, you got this. Even though it wasn't my wife at the time.
It was an example.
Mentally, I was telling the lady
they put you in the position mentally, so you know what
helplessness,
it's gonna feel like
of helplessness. And then reverse.
That's incredible exercise.
I know. Here's even better. So then we did another exercise where it was reversed, and all of the women. There's six women. And what happened is there's a bucket of ice. They had to put their hands in this bucket of ice, okay? They all go, oh, they're in shock. They're blindfolded. They put their hands in the bucket of ice. They knew it was ice. And then I would say within 20 seconds, all 6 women were crying. They're all crying. Us men, we were behind the women. The doula said we cannot touch them. They're all crying. This ice is burning, burning, burning. The doula is saying, do not take your hands out. You cannot give up. You cannot give up.
The women?
All the women were crying. And so then she said for the men to come and whisper in the ear, rub their back, say, I love you. You can do this. Motivational, all this stuff. All 6 women stopped crying. All of them. They all stopped crying. And it was just a moment of how much power, once again, as a man, that we have to ease the mind by getting rid of this distraction and putting it over into back rubs and I love you.
Comfort.
Oh my gosh, dude, it was so powerful.
It was powerful.
And then afterwards, the women took the blindfold out and they pulled their hands out and they're like all like this, like, oh my God. Like, and I think it was more of a shock of like, what just happened? Kind of like you give birth, right? Contraction, contraction, contraction. All my buddies that have had babies have told me. And then boom, birth. And it's just this moment of gratitude of like that ice is burning. So it was freaking
that's
awesome.
Incredible, bro.
And it was 8 hours long and I didn't want to go to this, but dude, it changed my life.
Me
and my wife were so much closer. And after the baby, we're going to be even closer. Yeah. I think every man should go through this.
And that's the thing too, is like, you know, you could hear the stories about the power of that experience of, you know, a lot. We're at the age, right? You know, I just turned 30 and we're at the age where everything's, you know,
getting real.
It's getting real.
Yeah.
You know, you got kids.
Not a little boy anymore.
You're celebrating not a little boy anymore. And I think there's a difference between, you know, being a little boy and thinking you're a man and then being a little boy and living like a man.
Yeah. And other men have to check you too.
Men have to check you. And like you said, women have to check you. And how we get checked as men and then the way we respond to being checked as men, I think is everything. You know, we can talk about right now. If you were to check someone and they were to respond with emotion,
yeah, I agree.
Okay. Oh,
you're being a little bitch, bro.
He kind of digested that.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't respond. He didn't react.
Yeah.
He responded. And that's where I think, you know, going back to like student athletes, even at a young age, it's okay. The second we get chirped or the second we get checked or the second that we're confronted with something that we're not really sure how to handle. Are we reacting or are we responding? An offer, you present something and they don't like it and you get checked.
Shark Tank. I've seen emotional deals on Shark Tank.
100%. Or
I'm like, I don't want to buy this from them. What the heck? They're emotional. You know?
Well, yeah. Or it's like, your product sucks. No worries at all. I understand. Yeah. I understand that you may think it stinks right now, but you haven't heard the second, third, and fourth part of our pitch.
Mr. Wonderful does that. He says you should take it in the back and you should shoot it.
Yep. And how do they react? How do they react right there?
I would cry.
Mr. Wonderful, no worries at all. I understand.
Yeah. This may not be for you.
This may not be for you. You can take a seat in the back. Yeah. I'm glad we have 4 other people. And while you have the seat in the back, you actually haven't even gone through the second, third, and fourth phase inside of our business.
Exactly. So I love it.
You know, but that
you're wrong, Mr. Wonderful. You're wrong because you're wrong. And then when he starts directing his focus on what Mr. Wonderful just said, there's a problem. Because now they say it all the time. Hey, you know that we're still in. Cubans over here like, yo, I'm a billionaire. I'm still in. But now you're arguing with Mr. Wonderful. I got an issue now with you. Boom.
No worries at all. Hey, Mr. Wonderful, when you hear the rest of the pitch, I'm sure you'll be back. Mr. Cuban, you know?
Yeah.
So, but that type of chirping starts, it can start in bowling in middle school. I hate your shorts.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that my shorts dictate your happiness.
I was bullied a lot, dude. I was bullied a lot. I never got in one fight because I had to focus that on other shit.
You find me someone in middle school, high school, real work life that hasn't been bullied, friend groups, bullied. You're getting emotional triggers. You're getting emotionally triggered regardless all the time at a point in your life. We get exposed to it, bullying in such young age because I think it's the first time our insecurities are truly pressed.
Yes. We need more of this in school, honestly.
Right. So
and you do a lot of this, right?
I do. I do a lot of mentorship. I'm an active mentor, student athletes, regular students, even troubled students. I've done a ton with an organization called Teach One to Lead One. They go into schools. It's really, really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
No, we do. And
we need a lot more of that.
It's crazy. I heard a stat the other day. One of the biggest issues with youth right now is finding mentors.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because, I mean, if who wouldn't want to go back and let people know the things that they wish they knew at that age? Vice versa. If you're a student, why would you not want someone saying, hey, when I was in that grade or when I was that age, this happened and how I could have prevented it was this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that a lot of what's going on in that realm is YouTube, but there's a lot of people out there where YouTube is kind of a world of happiness. I think that when somebody puts, I follow a lot of car guys, and one car guy just posted, my mom committed suicide. That doesn't happen on YouTube. He got 1.2 million views, but I'm sure he wasn't in it for the views because it's a serious moment. I watched it and he's just sitting there crying on YouTube, just saying this and that. And it was hard for me to watch. I couldn't watch all this because people don't want to watch that. They want happiness in their life. And I do believe that life should be motivated around happiness. But kids need to know, whether it's on YouTube or off camera, shit happens in your life and you have to be able to deal with it. And I can help you deal with the highs and the lows. Once again, we talked about all of that. Going back to my comment with Dan Bilzerian, he's whatever. If you love the guy, off camera, he's still miserable. So don't fall victim to what you see on social media all the time, because there are some lows, and the suicide rate is so damn high that because people cannot handle the lows. So we need, of course, like what you're saying, for the highs and the lows.
You're right. And the highs and the lows, there's one, it just stuck out to me. I think I heard it honestly yesterday or 2 days ago on a podcast. They said, your largest power is the position you used to be in. So like your largest power, or the heaviest position of power that you have is the position you used to be in. So right?
Yeah.
Like literally.
It's good.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And so I heard that, and they're talking about giving back, and it's like, who can you help the most? So for literally, if you think about it, if you literally have nothing to do, you're bored, you hate your life, etc., you're trying to find your passions. And I have a couple different questions that stem passion questions. I call them passion questions. Like, hey, if you were to wake up tomorrow, you had nothing to do, no school, no job, what would you decide to do with the day?
Yeah.
Cool. Is that sustainable? Can you do that long term? Okay, cool. Yep. Can you make money off it? And this guy said, hey, you know, your most powerful position is in the place you used to be. And I said, holy crap. Yeah. So if there's individuals that are out there that aren't like, where did they used to be and where are they now? And then can they help people get to the position that they are now from where they used to be? That right there, I say you can find passion. And I've heard that and I said, holy crap, that's effing powerful.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think you're totally right. And it's just, I mean, going back and mentoring and finding a way, even think about it, consulting. What is consulting?
Consulting is helping people throughout all of life. It's mainly business.
It's not, And it's
life coaching.
And that's why I just said it. It's like, okay, consulting is literally, it's business coaching off of either a position that you've been in that you've overcame or a position that you've helped other people overcome.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of people out there who are actually doing this. I hope a lot of people are in it for the right mindset and not the views or the money. But even if they are, I mean, if they have a strong enough passion and they're good at what they do, I think that a lot of people can learn from them. I think the only issue that's going on right now is there's so many freaking people who are putting so much knowledge out there. You should do this, you should do this, you should do this. And I'm 36 years old now and I'm lost. I'm like, dude, I'm being pulled here, I'm being pulled here. But you know what? I'm doing it all. I'll do it all, but I'm 36 and my mind's a little bit more developed than if you're 20 or 21, you're being pulled in this crazy world. You don't know who's right, who's wrong. You could find yourself in a lot of trouble. So my question to you is, you've worked with kids, I've worked with kids. How would you say to find the right person? How can they trust you, or how would they say that?
That's a really good question. I think, you know, going back to what we said before is, hey, have they been to where you want to go? Have they been to are they at where you want to go? And then have they been where you were?
Dive deeper. Tell me more. Go deeper.
So when you're looking for a mentor, are they at, or have they been, or do they have resources to where you want to go?
Like an athlete, for example.
Oh, an athlete. Or
he wants to go to the NBA?
Or let's say he
needs an NBA player.
You don't necessarily need an NBA player. You have to have someone that has resources to be able to provide you with those practices, those resources ultimately in order to get to where you want to go. Now, to make that even more impactful, if you have someone that's been in the same position that you currently are, they can help make that path a lot more clear.
Yes.
Now, if they care about it and it's not necessarily because it's an obligation to them, then you have a triple threat. Then it really works together to make something special. Now, there's a lot of different ways you go with paying, and then there's incentive. Okay, well, you know, if they're not paying, we're doing it for free, they're not going to be as willing to commit and actually take in the information. We can go into all that.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think that, yes, it's important to have someone that's guiding you that is where you were and is now currently where you want to go.
I totally agree. I have many examples of that. One being, I want to buy a Ferrari or a Lamborghini at some point. When I go to the dealership, I'm not going to talk to anybody. I want to talk to a guy who owns a Lamborghini. I don't want to talk to a guy who knows how to sell a Lamborghini. I want to be like, yo, if this engine crashes, what is the worst case scenario? Hey, bro, it's going to cost you $50,000 because back in 1992, my engine blew.
Yep.
Boom. Done. I'm buying from you.
You just made me think of the ultimate thing. It's the intent. Like, if that person that doesn't have a car, they're not saying, hey, grab a car because the experience is so great. I have it and I want you to experience the same.
Yeah.
They're saying, hey, I want you to buy this car because I need you to help support me so I can get that car.
Tell me the highs and the lows, bro. Don't just tell me the highs. That's what a salesman will tell you. Just the highs. Don't tell me all of this stuff.
Yeah, shoot. You know, and so like that was good.
Another one's a house too. I mean, I don't want to offend a lot of real estate agents out there, but I own a house. I bought this house at $268,000. I say it all the time. It's worth $900,000. I have a client right now, very difficult. And she's scared to death. She's a first-time home buyer. And that's okay. But I've exhausted all of my stories to her. I've been there before. My house was trash. I tore the toilet out. I couldn't even use the toilet standing up. It was that dirty. And I spent $70,000. I didn't have that money. I came up with it. Yep. I took out loans. I maxed out credit cards. I did this. I did that. I was blue in the face with a current client of mine. And I don't know if it's going and sinking, you know, in his or her head. I'm not going to say who it is. but I'm exhausted because this is another point to where you've coached, you've done your due diligence, and now you've led him to the water. What is he? Lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it. If you don't want to drink it, that's fine. But the problem is that I'm not a sales guy. I've told you that I've been through this. I know your feelings. You can ask me any questions at any time of the day, you know? And if you don't want to take that risk, then you probably should have never started or announced to the universe that you want it, because you're lying to yourself.
Nice. No, and I think you just touched on a lot of really, 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 really good points. We can literally unpack like that and whole thing. I love, I mean, it's so where do you go now?
Me personally, or
no, with that situation, where do you go now?
My phone's blowing up right now, and you just let it go. I cannot answer the same questions I've already answered. Just revert back. It's like buying a course, for example. When you buy a course, you've got 100 videos you've gone through. If the guy is good at selling the courses, he's covered every topic. If you have any questions at the end, yeah, you can ask them. But for example, my broker, love this guy to death. He was so freaking smart in real estate. When I ask him a question and I call him, he goes, Zach, go look at the contract line item 256.5. And I go, in my head, I'm like, dude, just tell me the answer. But instead, he tells me to go to the contract and take a look at it because it's right in front of me. That's the difference between a coach and a salesman.
Nice. Now, would you say if he would have told, do you remember what that line 280 whatever was?
Of course, I'll never forget it.
Now,
because I read it myself and he didn't tell me. Yeah.
If he would have told you would have forgot.
No, I wouldn't have cared, and I would have taken it for granted as well.
So I think that
I would have asked him more questions.
That right there is such a gosh darn good lesson for everyone. Is any time that you think someone might be trying to make it harder for you, they probably actually just want to help you.
They're coaching you, bro.
They're coaching you.
So many different ways you have no idea. Yeah. For free. It's a life lesson you didn't even ask for. And I'm 36 and I'm still getting taught life lessons, you know?
And we always will. And I think one thing that's really cool about that story you said is like, you said, I almost asked like, why'd you even start this to begin with?
Yeah.
You know, so how can we change someone that doesn't want to be changed?
It's a good question. I think it's the evolution of going through their years in life. Dude, when we were talking about girls, for example, I didn't want to get married. I didn't want a girlfriend. I was just messing around in all of my 20s. I was living the life and it was great. Well, when you get to be in your 30s, a lot of that stuff gets old. You know, going back to many people that I've mentioned on here, they talk a lot about girls and not having that one solid rock, in my personal belief. I think everybody wants that. And so I think that through the evolutionary of the years in life, when I hit my 30s, dude, going back to that story of the women, I had just gotten out of a relationship a month later. My wife knows everything about me. I had gotten out of a relationship a month later and it was bad. I had tried this girl for, 2 years and we had broken up and gotten back together for 2 years. A month later, I could have been like, man, that was difficult. She broke my heart. Like one day she just said, Zach, it's not going to work. And I was in tears for about 2 hours and then I snapped out of it. I was like, you know what? She's right. It's not going to work. I went back. A month later, I was in the bars because it's like I wanted to mingle and network. I'm like, you know what? This taught me a valuable lesson because I'm ready for a wife. I wifed up, bro. And I went to these bars and I was wife ready.
Yeah.
And I met my wife 1 month later.
Well,
I met her.
Think about it.
Mindset. But that was only in my 30s because in my 20s, I was playing, bro.
And sometimes, I think at the same time, it's like if you go out and look so hard, you ain't going to find it. Like it has to naturally happen.
Nah.
But you attracted it. And I think
the law of attraction.
And I think there's a difference between chasing and attracting. Right.
Yeah.
And so even whether it's dating, whether it's business, whether it's whatever, how can we put ourselves in a position to where we're no longer chasing, but because of our mindset and the way that we approach things, we're actually attracting.
I think that if your mindset is I never lose. So my motto recently, I'm going through a lot of stuff in my life. I will not lose. I don't lose. I do not lose with, not multiple women, but I do not lose with my wife when I found her because I was researching on YouTube how to get a wife. How can you lose when you have narrow-mindedly focused on anything in your entire life? For example, like if in business, Andrew Tate, once again, this guy he tells the same story. He's like, people are driving Lamborghinis. His story is like, they're driving Lamborghinis all around and da. He's like, what gives them the right to drive that Lamborghini and not me? I want $1 million. He narrow-mindedly focused. He said, I want $1 million, and he freaking found it. Why? Because he narrow-mindedly wanted it so bad. And if you tell yourself, I don't lose, you will not lose in anything you do.
You just brought me back to the point of the mindset and how strong it is. And if someone, we were saying, if you can't change someone, right, where do we go? And I think this is a Tony Robbins deal, thing, but I can't recall exactly. But it was, okay, if they don't want to change, there's one question that we can ask that makes them think a little bit different. And what he said is, what is the worst scenario if we change nothing?
You stay the same.
Which is what in most cases.
Which is not what you want, right?
Well, most of the time, if there's something that's happening that's so viciously toxic and it's going downhill, right, addiction or things like this, a lot of the time, hey, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink it.
Right.
If you don't drink the water, what's the worst scenario that's going to happen?
Your life is going to stay the same.
Which a lot of the times is.
It does. It's repetitive.
Dead.
Yeah.
Or you're not there. They're not there. Or, right, these different things. When I heard that, I said, holy crap, what is the cost of me staying the same?
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
And a lot of the time it's, dang, I can't.
Yeah, you cannot.
I can't.
You can't.
Right?
That's your mindset, and that's your maturity level, and that's your age and everything else too.
Well, I think if it's like an eating disorder or it's an addiction or whatever it may be, like staying the same is only worse. Like there's no stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, in the real estate, I don't know if the real estate example might be tough, but it's like, hey, if you don't buy this house right now, okay, cool. Then you're unable to accomplish your goal in 2024 of having, $1.2 million in real estate assets. Yeah. Whatever it may be. Like that is the risk. What is the risk of staying the same? Yeah. Well, me dying, me not having this, me losing blank. Like it's such a phenomenal. So I'm done with that. But no, I heard that.
I hear what you're saying 100%. Dude, well, I agree. You have to keep going. What other touch points you got?
Dude,
you wrote.
I don't know what time we can rip.
I mean, we've been on this for a while, but let's keep going because you had hit your points.
Yeah. What other points did we have? Shoot. I think we hit on a lot of them. I'm glad we didn't even roll straight off that thing. I think it kept it very.
We were sharing a Google Docs last night, and Nick writes on there, "I'm editing at 12 o'clock at night," and I write back, "Me too," because Google Docs is like shared and live.
I saw him pop on. I said, "Hey, bro, what's going on?" I said, "Yo, I'm just putting my thoughts down real quick."
I'm normally never up that late either, but I have so much going on that I'm just like grinding it out, and I'm like, "What's going on in Nick's doc? I need to see what we're doing tomorrow." And I looked up on there, and I'm like, "Dude, he's on there."
No, I think we covered majority of it, dude, and we even got some other stuff too. I think this flowed pretty well. I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, it's been awesome because in the gym, once again, you're like, "What's up, Zach?" Hey, see ya.
So I'm glad that we exchanged numbers. Yeah, and I think this is just an example too of like how powerful really random conversations can be.
In podcasts alone, I mean, dude, we're not in it for the fame. I have 13 followers today.
This conversation, and think about it, it's a reason to bring.
It's about nuggets, man.
Exactly. There's a reason to bring people together. There's a reason to just have conversations. I think that, if we wouldn't have had, I mean, who knows where our relationship's going to go? But I think this is just a great example of like, hey, if you see someone that you vibe with, if you see someone that you think matches your energy, go say what's up.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're going to be doing some stuff together, bro.
Of course.
I already know. I'm going to fill you in on everything I'm doing. We're going to kill it.
Get it rocking,
because it's all about the energy. Our energy matches for sure. But definitely give a plug what you're up to. And
so I know you asked me at the beginning. I didn't even really answer it. But no, so I'm involved with a couple different spaces, really involved with products. So, anything, I own a company called eCustomer. It's anything on the back end of really e-commerce of getting products to people.
Nice.
We really help just any processes, any systems, if you need staffing on the back end, et cetera, we can help. And then I know I mentioned to you the manufacturing, which I've gotten involved with pretty quick. So any product manufacturing on the e-commerce side, or just, you know, like promo products of any kind, that's we have access to that now. So it's and then I do some speaking, like I said, involved with a lot of student athletes, do a lot of mentorship, coming out with the book here in January.
Nice.
The
That's
shit I wish
awesome.
I knew in high school.
And then where are they going to find you at?
Yeah, so
we got to find you.
Yeah, IG. I'm going to start posting some TikToks here soon, getting back on my content game. Just Nick Deregis. I think it's at Nick Deregis.
And
But
then
yeah,
spell the last name.
Deregis.
Got it. Yep.
Deregis. Thanks, bro.
Yes, I appreciate it. You guys like, comment, subscribe. This guy is the shizzle, shock dizzle. He'll be on this episode again for sure, because we're going to be pumping some awesome content.
Yes.
Until next time, guys, we'll see ya.
Appreciate
Peace.
y'all. Late.